All right, let's turn to a short break on that note. Pradeep Misra of Rudravishek Enterprises, the second entrepreneur who's in the hot seat tonight. Back in just a moment. Welcome back. With us here in Leaders of Tomorrow. Our second entrepreneur in the hot seat tonight is Pradeep Misra of Rudravishek Enterprises. Pradeep, what more can you tell us about the company and the work that you do?
We are a consultant and we deal largely in urban infrastructure. So we do planning work like zonal plan, master plan, regional plan. We design upcoming townships or upgradation of existing towns, cities, uh, and all infrastructure pertaining to urban infrastructure like water supply, sewerage, uh, road, junctions, traffic movement plan, all these urban infrastructure, we do consulting and PMC work in this sector. So this is the general scope of REP.
Personally and professionally, Pradeep, what has this pandemic been and what has it meant for you?
Personally, God grace, directly in my family, not much damage happened, but no doubt very close to my family as well as in my organization. Few very senior people, they are very severely affected by COVID, and almost every family in my organization is affected directly or indirectly by this COVID. So the COVID, the second wave especially, is very damaging for our entire organization. Business wise, the second wave is still, uh, we are much organized to handle the second wave. The business part is concerned. In the first wave, what we experienced that we were not used to do work from home, and that IT infrastructure was not existing at that time to handle such kind of disruptive business profile. But in second wave, though the damage personally is very severe, but the business was still in much more control than it was in first wave.
I understand you're very actively involved in the government's smart city mission. Just give us a more on that and, the work that you're doing and also what some of perhaps the future projects that you're involved in are.
We were involved in 6 smart cities, and our role was to conceive the projects which were mandatory to make a city a smarter, and then to design those projects, make DPR, and then for tender to hire contractors for execution of those projects. And after engaging contractor, we work as a client engineer and we monitor uh, the construction side of all those projects on ground till the completion of project. So our scope is as a PMC consultant, right from conceptualization to the completion and delivery of those projects for smart cities.
You, I understand, have seen a twofold increase in profits. What has really helped you maintain and sustain that chart of growth, Pradeep?
During the pandemic, we reduced our sumptuous cost by reducing our office space and certain recurring costs which which we are not analyzing and optimizing earlier, but pandemic forced us to look into all those things, which in a good way help us in optimizing our operational costs. At the same time, since we were already in consulting business, so our workforce is well versed with working from home concept. That also helped us in optimizing our operational costs, which ultimately resulted in increase in our profitability.
Technology, of course, playing a very crucial role when it comes to the entire infrastructure space. Just when it comes to the goals that India has as a country for its infrastructure, by when do you think those will possibly be met, given the pace at which we are able to adopt and use technology?
Yes, the technology is the key factor now uh, in the growth of infrastructure of any city. In all smart cities, one of the critical assignment is to develop a data center, uh, which is called control and command center. Through that control and command center, all city level infrastructure were converged into one platform and monitored at a single point, whether it is a water supply system of the city or electrical supply or street light or traffic movement or traffic challan, name anything which are under the city infrastructure, they are controlled through a common control and command center at a city level. This kind of technology, helped in upgrading the city living quality as well as infrastructure.
Pradeep, we're of course talking about the impact on the environment given what is happening around us, due to the pandemic, etc. Do you think large businesses are ensuring that they are limiting the impact that they have on the environment? Is that happening consciously to ensure that their carbon footprint is being reduced and they're conscious of the impact that they have? Do you think enough is being done on that?
Yes, this is very, very important uh, because the impact of environment is not visible in a span of 5 year or 10 year. But if we analyze it and see it in a span of 50 to 100 years, the impact is very, very severe. And every citizen is responsible and it should be conscious enough to be environment friendly. The policy of any country should also be environmental sustainable policies, and we should reduce the carbon print. That should be made mandatory in all industry and all type to reduce the speed of increase of temperature of our world, of our universe. And each person should modify his or her living style to, to reduce that carbon footprint, uh, which is happening because of every individual.
Is the government enabling carbon-free projects, Pradeep? What can you tell us on that?
Yes, government is proposing also this thing, and even in environment approval, the clauses are there, and every establishment has to implement at the time of completion of those projects. But the scale and the speed at which it is happening is too slow to manage the increase in temperature, what is happening, the average temperature of Earth, which is happening in last few years. A lot more is to be done by at a policy level as well as at the implementation level.
How are Indian cities adapting to the climate change and rethinking design of utilities? What could you tell us, Pradeep?
Uh, I think in India, the general awareness of this climate change and the direct effect and the side effect because of this climate change is not well spread, or the awareness is not that well spread. lot more is required to be done, and every citizen should be cautious about this. Only then it is possible to control it. Just by making policy, it is not that easy to control it. So the general awareness is very, very important, which is missing as of now.
Pradeep, before we let you go, one is the impact on the environment, carbon footprint, etc. But there's also water and smart water management. What are you as a company doing? I understand that that is a focus area for you. What could you tell us?
Yes, water management is very important, and the average consumption of water should also go down. Proper management of water, treating it and recycling it and then reusing it is also equally important. Uh, and the way we live is also need slightly correction and modification. Use of chemicals in our day-to-day life, disposing chemical directly into water, and then that chemicals are hampering our quality of groundwater. As per government norm, the quality of water, average requirement of water per liter per person is sumptuously reduced from 140 liter per person per 80 liter.
All right, Pradeep. Thanks for taking the time to join us today. Out of time on this episode of Leaders of Tomorrow. If you have any feedback for us, as always, our contact details on your screens. Thanks for watching. Have a good time.